A lot of people have asked us many in-depth questions for the CPA US exam, specifically from the exam point of view. So this video is going to cover almost all the doubts that you can think of, quite in depth. So let's get started. First of all, as everybody knows, the US CPA exam held by the AICPA body, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. The exam has 4 subjects. I'm going to give you a slight gist of each of the 4 subjects. The first subject is financial accounting and reporting. This is all about accounting standards of the US, which we call US GAAP, GAAP, which is generally accepted accounting principles, and as an element of IFRS. So this subject is all about accounting standards. Second subject is auditing, which the nomenclature we use is AUD. Auditing, again, if you're already a chartered accountant or you studied something in the field of commerce, you know, auditing is essentially checking financial statements and ensuring that they represent a true and fair view of the financial statements. So in US CPA, auditing is the same if you've already studied CA. Otherwise, it's what we know is the concept of auditing. Third subject is called Business Environment Concepts, BEC. Now, this covers concepts of finance and accounts. It covers topics covered under financial management, under cost accounting, and it also gives us a few general business theories, right? So sort of prepares you holistically, not just all about finance and accounts. And the fourth and final subject is regulations, REG. And this is essentially tax and law. So it's all about compliances, you know, your tax policies and the different laws of the states. So there you go. Those are the 4 subjects and a short brief liner, one-liner on each of these. Now, the way the examiners set up the exam, they're trying to test you on 4 sort of points, right? The first point is they're trying to test your understanding and memory. So the questions will be asked to test whether the basic concepts are understood by you and you retain them. Second, they're trying to test the application. Can you apply what you've learned to certain case scenarios, certain questions, and are you able to connect your theoretical knowledge with practical questions? By the way, guys, hold on. We've been asking all this and most of y'all have been adhering to it, but still 89% of our viewers are not subscribing to the channel. So please click subscribe and then go on with the video. Third, they're trying to understand your analytical capability. So they'll make sure that they ask you questions in which you're forced to not only remember the concepts, apply them, but then analyze what they're about. And finally, the fourth step is your evaluation capabilities. So what is the best judgment you're able to use to draw conclusions? So the entire exam is set up like this. Now, all the 4, when it comes to the paper pattern of these 4 papers, each of these 4 exams is supposed to give separately, obviously. And on an average, all of them are 50% MCQs, 50% simulations. Simulation means they are task-based questions and you know, you just need to know that it's 50% MCQs, 50% simulation. So this is the paper pattern for each of these papers. Next, people are always confused as to how does CPA evaluate your exam? How do they correct? How do they check? So first of all, there are no marks, right? It's not like it's a 100-mark paper, each or 100 marks paper. Like in CA, we have in a group 4 subjects, all 100 marks, and if aggregate you get 200, and individually you get 40, you pass. CPA doesn't have that scoring system. CPA is simple. You need to score 75% or more percentile. So if you guys understand the concept of percentile, it's great. For those who don't, just remember that they will test the whole world for per attempt, and the people who score the highest according to them, they are considered as the benchmark, and you have to score 75% or more in relation to these guys. That's what percentile means. If you don't understand it, forget it. Just do your best. Ensure that you have to try getting almost everything correct and you will be good to go. Next, the passing rate, right? So 2 subjects, which is FAR and audit, have an average passing rate of 50%. So that means 5 out of 10 people who give these exams clear. For the other two subjects, which is BEC and regulation, the passing rate is close to 65%. So, between 6 to 7 people on 10 pass these exams. Next, exam window. So when can you give these exams? How long does it take? Let me break it down. The way CPA works is, first of all of them are computer-based exams, just for you to know. And how it works is, in a span of a year, they take each quarter. And the first 2 months of a quarter are exam windows. And the third month is something known as a resting period when they check the exam. So for example, in the first quarter, and in this case calendar year, January and February, okay, you have the option of giving the exams, but not in the month of March. In the month of March, it's a resting period. The CPA body is correcting the exams of all those who give the exams in Jan and Feb. Similarly, April and May, it's open. You can't give any exam in June. So on and so forth. One very important thing. In the month of Jan and Feb, you can give the exam, any of these exams, the 4 exams. You can give one of them, 2 of them, or all of them anytime in the month of Jan and Feb. They are technically on demand. However, unlike other subject qualifications like ACCA, where on demand essentially means you call up the center and say, I want to give the exam tomorrow. Do you have a slot available? And you can give. In CPA, it doesn't work like that. You've got to book the slot months in advance. So even though it's technically you can give it anytime, you can't decide in the month of January you want to give it in February. The chances of the slots being available are almost negligible. So you've got to plan a little further in advance. That being said, on an average, it takes students between 6 to 12 months to complete the exam. At Zell, we generally take around 9 to 12 months for students to complete. Also, there is one key element. From the time you give your first exam, if you appear for the first exam, you then have to wait for, you have to complete all the exams within 18 months of giving your first exam. Which means you give your first exam now, if you don't complete all the other 3 exams in the next 18 months, even the first exam, even if you passed it, it will lapse and you'll have to re-give the exam. So that's the reason that most of the people finish the exams all at once. Now, till the pandemic, you could not give the exam in India. You had to. So what most Indians would do, they would either go to the States or they would go to Dubai to give the exam. In the pandemic, there have been centers in India. So if you're watching this right now and you're preparing, you will be giving the exams in India. However, they've announced that the exam centers in India are only till 31st December 2021. Now, they may extend it, but there has been no official confirmation on that. So we are assuming that post 31st December 2021, if you want to appear for the exam, you're going to go either back to the States or Dubai. We're going to make another video on eligibility and certain criteria where you'll realize that it's better to go to the States, whether it is from the cost perspective or certain license, gaining the CPA license perspective. So I'll come to that in another video. For now, just remember that mostly if you're starting to pursue CPA now, you're not going to complete it by December because the time is really less. I mean, you have to really struggle. So if you're going to give the exams by going overseas, go to the States, plan to go to the States or to Dubai. And the way you'll do it is you'll prepare for all the 4 papers together, go to the States, and then within a span of, let's say, a week, 10 days, you'll give all the 4 exams. So, you can give, so we've seen students who give the exams, all the 4 exams on alternate days and finish all of them in a week. We've also seen students who spread it out, they go to the States, stay there for 2 months and spread out the 4 exams. That's on you. You can also decide, if you don't mind going a couple of times, you can decide that, look, I'm going to give 3 papers right now. I'll go to the States, give 3, come back. And then I'll go for my 4th paper. In case the 3 papers you gave, if you fail one, for example, unfortunately, then when you go back, you can finish the failed paper and the last paper. So there are various permutation combinations. Our suggestion is always give all the 4 at once and get done in a span of a few days, because that's how you'll prepare from the beginning. That's how you're mentally, giving your mock exams and things like that. That's our suggestion. Guys, that was the video. The details of the academic structure, a little bit about the syllabus, paper pattern, passing rate, passing mark, exam window, duration, results, and the way they check it. So I hope that a lot of people who are confused about details of CPA, this gives you a decent insight. We're going to make another couple of videos which covers the other complexities of CPA like eligibility, and another third video. It's like a 3-part series we are making. A third video which covers details of things like the fees and the potential of what kind of profiles you can work in, companies you can work in, salaries that you can earn in India or abroad. So with that being said, this is our video on CPA. If there are specific questions on the academic structure, please post in the comments. And if there's anything else you'd like us to create, please let us know. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much.